Welcome fans and racers alike to the Jeans Ball F3 League, live and exclusive here on Total Sim Sports. We're back for round two, and heading some 3,800 miles as the crows fly from nearly Michigan last week to the Norfolk Broads, as this week we head to Snetterton in the United Kingdom. I'm Tim Cox. I have Sean's Cranleigh-Swash on production with me tonight. Unfortunately, Seb Williams won't be with us, feeling the effects of Christmas still a little bit. We've got qualifying underway. It's an open qualifying session as always. It's around about 3 minutes left. The driver's been out on track for just coming up to 12 minutes so far. You can see Patricolo leading the way for 3D Rap Squadron Course 1. Of course, he was our winner last time out at Road America, and a gap slightly closing up there. Roberto Fai, his teammate, getting within 0.2 of a second, just displacing Sam Hammer of PDR. Incredibly close between those two. Only 0.06 of a second is all that separates the second row from the first row here at Snetterton. Also, well worth mentioning, of course, obviously last time out, it was an action-packed race at Road America. Let's not forget it at all. Of course, as mentioned, Patricolo was our victor, the Italian. Neuhoff came home second. Catalini is currently fifth in qualifying at the moment. He was third. However, Patricolo also picked up the bonus point for the fastest lap of the race, and he did so on the very final lap. It was an absolutely amazing thing to see, snatching it right at the depth to claim maximum points from the first round. I think that was just a Max Chambers just off there in the background there. Not long left for the drivers. A few of them going to be running out of time. See a couple of cars off to the side of the track, just where pushing it absolutely to the maximum during these final stages of qualifying, leaving nothing in reserve whatsoever. You just see Kenzie Neuhoff at the moment, racing forces, coming around the latter parts of the track, round Coram, then down into this tight left-hander. That is the final corner of Murray. It's going to be a little bit tricky for our driver, especially in these first couple of laps. It's all about getting the best exit possible before you head over the start-finish line. Of course, the start-finish straight on the run. Slightly uphill here, relatively flat circuit at Snetterton. For taking pretty much at maximum speed the first corner of Riches and then down to the slight hairpin as Montreal. But Lee Aberdeen, what can he achieve? During practice, he set the fastest lap for 1:38 dead. That's been already broken by Patricolo during qualifying at 1:37.5. Aberdeen, interestingly, setting very similar times to his fastest lap during the practice sessions earlier in the week. And the man from down under, just trying to have a little bit of a look. Patricolo gone quicker again, 1:37.52. Keeping on for the moment of that front row position. That's what can Aberdeen do. No improvement really for him. He's going to remain sixth. He's going to get one more chance here, though. 20 seconds left of qualifying, 20 seconds left for the drivers to get over the start-finish line to cram in one last lap. As we see Bergston there, he's going to just about run out of time. So this is going to be his last lap. What can he achieve? Locking up into Murray's there. The PDR War on Paper driver, the Swede, heads across the start-finish line, currently in 10th. Can he improve at all? Oh, we see Roberto Fai just get it up onto the third row, narrowly missing out on the front row there, only by 1/100th of a second. Incredibly close times here. On top, second, third, and fourth are only separated by 0.04 of a second. Absolutely spectacular. So close, and I'm sure this is what's going to be exactly like during under race conditions. If we look to break the 1 second mark off the pole position time, you're looking at Cockram down in 15th place. And that's only he's only 0.05 of a second off being inside that 1 second mark. See, Van der Koekout, Dutchman, closing out his final lap. He's on much of an improvement. Be interesting to see how he gets on. Best so far, a 138 dead, and there we go. 138.5 and a 138.2 to get himself up into 11th place. Here comes Rollins for Total Sim Sport A. Down in 22nd at the moment. He'll be hoping for a big rise. Some 1.8 seconds off the pace. 130. Well, he improves, but only by 100th of a second. The finest of margins for the Brit. It's just enough where it counted. And looking at it, I think Luedo didn't manage to make it out in the first round of Road America. He comes across the line. He's yet to set a time. Had off tracks on all of his laps. I think he's just about going to miss out by the looks of things. Rosenkrantz, another driver on a flyer. Just down through Coram and into Murray's, and he's going to run a bit wide there. Not sure if that's going to be an off track for him. So the N7 Sport driver races across the line. Where is he going to come? Let's have a little bit of a look, but he's going to, it looks like he's going to remain in 8th place. Chris Rosenkrantz. I think he was the last cut across the line. Just looking at him up, there we go. And that is qualifying over and done with here at Snetterton. This saw incredibly close times. The driver's just heading into a 10-minute warm-up, a chance to go and take a bit of a breather for some of our drivers, stretch their legs ahead of 15 laps here, the race distance at Snetterton. Sure. Some of them maybe making a few last minute, bit of warm-up, bit of chance to feel the circuit out, see where they can try and push, maybe find a few extra attempts. And where they can hopefully get successful during the race. Now, of course, Snetterton changed a little bit over the years. Of course, Snetterton is another of the post-war generation of ex-airfield circuits that we have within the UK. It emerged to meet the growing demand for permanent facilities during the 1950s and remains a staple of the British racing scene pretty much ever since. One of the most popular, more national circuits, obviously on the international Silverstone that everyone loves and knows across the globe. Now, with Snetterton, it opened all the way back in 1943 as RAF Snetterton Heath, providing a home for the USA Army's Air Force of 96th Bomb Group and its fleet of B-17 Flying Fortresses. The Americans stayed here a bit longer than they did with most of their bases, flying food aid to the Dutch at the end of the war. And a couple of years on from there as well. And, of course, with so many of the abandoned airfields, which turned into an array of different uses, sensing the opportunity the abandoned runways presented in the 1951 enthusiasts Oliver Steer and Dudley Coram, of course, named after the famous corner, the second last, persuaded Fred Riches, who owned most of the land of which the airfield stood, to allow motorsport to happen on the site. Now, Riches, interestingly, he was a church warden at the local church and agreed on one condition that racing could take place. It was that on Sundays between 10:45 a.m. and noon, there was to be no racing to take place because, of course, that's when everyone was at church. Now, the circuit first made use of the perimeter roads and one of the runways to create a fast 2.7-mile circuit. However, today we race on the Snetterton 300 circuit, which was created back in 2011 as part of a multi-million-pound upgrade to the circuit. Now, the original circuit featured, one of its main features was the Norwich Straight, which ran alongside the A11, and it was a mile long. Of course, we talk about, long straights such as Camel Straight at Spa being probably one of the most famous ones. We talk about Nordschleife and the long straight there, but wow, to think of just absolutely gunning it for a mile straight, there would have been a sight to behold over the years. Of course, the infield section was added as part of the upgrades back in 2011, which takes you Montreal has been, obviously, that's been readjusted. That must be more of a flowing right-hander out onto the back straight. It's now become that tight hairpin that is turn 2. And from that point onwards, the mile section that makes up the Snetterton 100 part of the circuit, and when it's all comprised together, it's the Snetterton 300. Now, you can carry on at Montreal after initially taking the right and head left, which brings you, cuts out that middle part of the Snetterton 100 circuit and brings you out onto Williams Corner and then obviously the Bentley Straight, which is more reminiscent to the old circuit here that was before the upgrade happened. Now we've got a few minutes left. And just having a little look at the timing sheets. We've got a few of the drivers out on track. Larson for IGL Catings currently leading the way. Achikolo, yes, another cracking qualifying from him for 3D Rapscodger Corsa 1. And let's just take a little look through these qualifying results. Waiting for those to emerge. Magic Italy. There we go. You see a lockout for, well, with the sister teammate of 3D Rapscodger Corsa 2 with Catalini. The two Italians on the front row of the grid. It's Roberto Fai, who's Paticolo's direct teammate in the Course 1 variant of 3D Rapscodger Corsa. But only just some 100th of a second slower than his fellow Italian Catalini. Sam Hermer for PDR, he's going to start alongside Fai on the second row of the grid for PDR. Larson, who currently at near the sharp end at the moment of the warm-up session, he managed to get into 5th place. Lee Aberdeen 6th. That's a great qualifying from him. He's 7th with Rosenkrantz alongside him for company. Then it's Josh Wilson of PDR 5th with fellow Swede Birgerson of PDR War on Paper. Then we've got Van der Kook out with Will Goulbourne of CG Motorsport alongside him. Glamscare has got Paul Busby for company. Then we've got James Cochran with another of our Scandinavian contingent. It's Olassen of IGL Coatings. Then we've got Newhoff with Warren. And then Van der Veen, the privateer from Holland. He's going to start in 19th place. Only just, when you look at how far behind Kemp was, only, again, we talk about 100th second. That's just what's been, we saw it back in race 1 of Road America. That's all that's been separating a lot of the places. It's only 200 seconds between Kemp and Van der Veen. Scarrett has Chris Rowlands with him. I've got Boberg and then Rogenbuck, Hughes and Max Chambers. And Chambers not having the best of qualifying there, well off the pace. Luedo and Cullen and Carroll unable to set a time during qualifying. The off-tracks are quite tricky here at Snetterton. Definitely playing a bit of a part. I know from Chanticom Carroll earlier in the week, he was chuffed to bits with his result from the previous round. So he finished, almost had a nosebleed. He finished that high up of the standings. He managed 15th, and that was well above where he was expecting. I know he was just hoping to start near the back today and just try and work his way through the field and pick up any scraps from drivers that have made mistakes to allow that to bring him up through the standings. So it's going to be interesting to see how Carroll gets on from the back. As for Cullen, we'll be starting on the back row with him. Wow, what can we say about Cullen? Had an absolutely amazing outing last time at Road America. The highest gainer, the driver for Gene's Lone Wolf, made up 25 places. An absolute epic drive, again, from the back of the grid. However, needs to give an honourable mention to Max Chambers of Concord Motorsport, because he managed to make up himself 22 places, which is not exactly a bad result in itself. Cullen finished in 9th. Chambers finished in 5th. Great result for them. And of course, just to take you through the podium last time out of Road America, Patrick Ola, as we've mentioned already, taking the victory. Newhoff, he was 2nd. And Catalini came home in third as we just ride on board with Bergerson at the moment. And that is how easy it is to lose around Coram. It's Olason managing to hold it a bit more together. Bergerson wasn't able to. That needs to be a bit tricky there because on the exit of Murray's, you're able to take quite a bit of that concreted section. However, it is very, very easy, especially on the opening laps, just to lose the rear end, run wide, which then could invoke a spin, which completely and utterly destroys your race. Of course, we saw, you know, big losses from people making mistakes on the opening laps and tumbling right through the order. We've got yet another large grid here for you in round 2. Some 29 drivers battling out for victory. Who's going to come up on top? It's not long before we will be taking to the grid and we'll be underway. And then in 15 laps time, we'll be able to find out, can Patricolo make it 2 wins from 2? He's on pole once more. Your money's surely got to be on him. But don't discredit Catalini. Don't discredit Hermer. Incredibly strong drivers. We're going to have Luedo starting well down the grid. Another strong driver that I know personally from covering Top Split F3 last season. Driver you'll expect to see there fighting up around the sharp end of the grid. Well, can it be, you know, one of the more unsuspecting members of the grid? We'll find out very, very shortly as we just head to the grid. Can't wait for racing here to begin. It's going to be an absolutely epic night once more around this 3-mile circuit. And good to have you all on board during chat. We've got, who have we got? We've got Stuart Bickley. Good to have you on board, sir, as always. I see sporting Paul Busby once more, as always. Dave Cullen. Just planning for my matches later. Okay, lovely stuff. Not sure what you mean by that one, Ben. We've got Marcus Gaveson. Good to have you on board. Chris Rowlands. Interestingly, driving and deciding to be in the chat. That one never quite ends too well. We've got Paul Busby as well doing the same thing. Praying for survival. Of course, it was a bit of mayhem, but we're underway here already. As we see Patricolo getting a great start there on the run down to turn 1. But here comes Hermer. What can he do around the outside? And he manages to get himself up into 3rd place. They all come on the anchors into Montreal, and Hermer spun round. He's lost it there. I think that was a tap from Fye from behind. As everyone else seems to have got through cleanly. Aberdeen's managed to make up a place past Elsa. Hey, you see Gilbourne just in the middle of the pack. Another of the big gain is already at 4 places. And where there's people sliding around in front of him. He could have make up some more as we see the CG Motorsports. I think that was, yes, Gilbourne there in the middle of the pack once more. Getting his elbows out and fighting his way through. But Van der Kokow, what a start from him. He's at 5 places and no, Gilbourne's off. After a great size hauler done, we've got a spinner in the midfield as well. As they all rejoin and somehow make it through. As we've had Chambers, he's won the spinners off in the background there. On board, Glamsetter out onto the Bentley straight for the first time. That's Cockram ahead of him. Cockram goes defensive early, taking to that inside line. Just trying to defend from the Norwegian driver. And Cockram just holding on to that place for now. But you get the feeling the way that Glamset is all over the back of him. We won't be long. Something's happened to Oliver Kemp in the background as well. But Gilbourne and Hermer are going to be absolutely gutted after their great starts, falling down through the order as we come round for the end of the first lap. And you see Patricolo leading the way. After the end of the first lap, Hermer is into the pits. That could be terminal for him potentially. Catalini second, Fye. He's in third. Oh, there's Glamster out onto the grass there. Running deep, running wide there. The 3D Rap Squadra Corsa teams dominating here in Snetterton. Occupying all the podium positions. Larson, he's up into 4th. Aberdeen, Van der Kook out. Biggerson, Newhoff, Wilson and Busby make up your top 10. There is Busby for Wake and Bake. Just trying to nip up the inside of Wilson. Wilson out onto the grass there. Needs to be careful, and that's surely going to be Busby through, but no. Fighting back, here comes Wilson and saying, no, you're not having it all that way. And he nicks the place back off Busby. But look, he's Lou in the background. It's Cochrane. What can he do? We know he's got pace within the F3. But here comes Busby on the attack. Wilson defending for his life right now. Everyone all over the track trying to maneuver around. But it's just loud. Busby back through and slots himself back in front of Cochrane. Wow, that could have been so much easier, but Wilson just trying to take the easier option there. We see Warren making good progress. Warren is already up 4 places here today. So you see Cochrane is the battle between Rosenkrantz and Glamser right behind. Glamser was all over the back of Cochrane previously, but Rosenkrantz has got himself up a position. Glamser is off to another place. That's James Warren. He's through. He's up 5 places as they complete their 2nd lap. But here comes Warren and Olason, they're all onto the attack once more. This is all happening here into turn 1. Olason just trying to squeeze his way past Glamser, who's almost in reverse right now, falling right through the order. As we see Van der Veen there looking to make a move up the inside of Olason. They're all scrobbling right now over the same inch of tarmac. You get the feeling that this is not going to settle down. This tight and technical circuit here at Snetterton. There's still plenty of chances for overtaking opportunities. Boberg heads up the inside there of Van Veen. And that's going to be another move done for him. Boberg got 7 places now and up into 16th. We see Aberdeen. He's good. Just having a little look at this. He's got Newhoff. That's who's behind him there. And Van der Kook out as well. Aberdeen surely be happy right now with his 5th place during these opening laps. Newhoff, who's behind him, made up 10 places so far. Biggest gainer. A great opening section. But there's Wilson losing out yet again. Switch maybe between him, a tactical switch there between his teammate of PDR Sif, Cochrane. He's just managed to get ahead with the different colours despite being teammates. And Cochrane now up. Another one, the big gain is at 5 places, up in 7th. Wilson not having the best of starts, and now look, he's under attack from Rosenkrantz, who's swallowing him up. Rosenkrantz has got the much better run. He's going to have his work to do around the outside, but no, Wilson just yields the position and allows the N7 Sport driver through. As we see all the way, just getting a bit twitchy there into turn 1. And having to back out of it there, but Van Veen, he's on the attack once more into Montreal. But can't get the move this time around. It's good progress as well being made by Tom Carroll. I mentioned earlier in the race about how he was wanting to just pick off places from people's mistakes. And starting right from the back. He's up 10 places into 19th. He's going to be chuffed to bits by that. He's got Cullen, another one of the guys who likes to come from behind. He's up into 20th. Up 8 places so far. And you get the feeling maybe these two might be working together to pick their way through the pack. Chambers, another of the risers. He's up 5. Luedo, who's just in front of these two, up 9 places. We're heading back to the front now. Aberdeen. He's got Van der Kook out. He's managed to close up behind him. Aberdeen not being able to make progress past Larson so far. Happy to sit right behind him. As I think Cullen, yeah, he's just managed to get past Carroll. Should we see Larson just kicking up a bit of dirt on the exit. But these guys seem to be working a bit together now. And are catching up onto the tail of Fi, who's in 3rd position. You can believe it, 5 laps here already completed at Snetterton in round 2. take you through your top 10 quickly. Patricolo still leading from by nearly 2 seconds over Catalini. Roberto Fire is third for now, but he's being caught by that chase group of Larson, Aberdeen, and Van de Kokel. There's all trading places a bit further down. I think something's happened to Bergerson. He's dropping through the order like a stone. He's off track. No, after a great start. The PDR War on Paper driver. He's all the way back down to 18th now. So we see Wilson having a real, almost touching wheels there with Warren. But Warren's got himself up another place. He's up into 11th. So he continues to make progress. And Wilson is going to be absolutely gutted by this performance. Clearly no pace in that PDR Sif car here tonight at Snetterton. So he loses yet another place. Don't forget, it wasn't too long ago he was in front of his teammate Cochrane. I'm actually battling with Busby, who are up in 8th and 9th respectively right now. You see there's Busby just coming through in a nice little pocket of space. Cochrane under attack from Rosencrantz just in the background there. But Oleson, I think something's happened to him. He's losing a few places. Oh no! I think he's lost it into the barrier. I'm not too sure how he's managed that one. That's a Coram. Actually, no, that's a bomb hole, sorry, just before. Bit of a strange one to lose it there. So we see Aberdeen now right up onto the back of Larson, but he needs to be careful because Van der Kokel, who we know has pedigree, it's to the inside. Aberdeen going to try and do it the hard way around the outside. He runs a bit too deep, and that's going to gift the place to Van der Kokel shortly, but Aberdeen fighting back here and holds on to the place somehow after running so deep into Montreal. Aberdeen remains in 5th, and Van der Kokel has to sell for 6th for now. You see Aberdeen just trying everything he can to defend from the Dutch driver who we're riding on board with right now. But needs to be a little bit careful with these guys because, tell you what, Newhoff, who's just behind them in 7th place for Racing Forces, set the fastest lap of the race last time around at 1:38.3. And if he continues that pace, he's going to be right up onto the back of these guys incredibly quickly. Don't discredit him. He's already up 10 places. The only other drivers that have gained more places than him is Luedo, who's down in 16th. Also up 10 places is Cullen and Carroll, who are in 18th and 19th place. Of course, Newhoff is also teammates with Luedo, so clearly something in the air tonight for the Racing Forces drivers. So they make progress through the field. Unlike Wilson, who looks like he's going to be under pressure from fellow Swede Boberg of Cripps Racing. It's Wilson not having the best day of the races. Actually, he's already lost another place to another one of the Cripps Racing drivers, Glamsetter. It's just up front looking at it as well. Van der Kokel, he's managed to pick his way past Aberdeen. Aberdeen trying to fight back now. So they come into Montreal and just lunging on the brakes there. Nearly lost under braking. As we see on the replay here, into turn 1, he's on the outside. And he's in this. Wow, a great move there by Van der Kokel. You have to feel Aberdeen almost caught a little bit napping there. But either way, Van der Kokel has got himself. He's up 6 places now and up into 5th place. Patricolo still clear at the front. 2.5 by 2.5 seconds over his teammate. And the sister team. Oh no, as Boberg loses it. And this could cause a big collision here. I think that's Luedo involved as well. Van Veen at 1. You see Cullen on the outside. He's managed to escape it all and picking his way through. Carroll on the wall making progress. As Luedo, oh no, he's having to retire the car. After all that, after making through his way through the pack, gaining all those places, he's had to take the car back to the pits. But Carroll, another one of nearly up, he's up 11 places now. He's going to be ecstatic with that one. Like coming under a bit of a pressure from Hay, he feels just going to nip it up the inside here at Carroll. Just maintains position. Oh, with a bit of a slow move there from, I think that was from Boberg. This is all happening, getting the best of exit. It was Boberg just getting swallowed up left, right, and centre right now. Carroll just having well, being sent on, covering that inside line as Rowland's coming round the outside of Coram, going to slot it up the inside into Murray. So a great move by him. I think it was Van Veen just running a bit deep there, and that's going to gift Carroll with a bit more space and ease the pressure in. But a great move around the outside there by Rowlands, and he's on the move once more. Try and get past Boberg as he slots it up the inside. But not happy with making it one place. Rowlands says, thank you very much, I'm going to have another. And Carroll's folding through into Montreal as well. Carroll's picked up another place, and he runs a bit too deep on the brakes. And that's going to allow, I think, Van Veen, it's just managed to sneak his way through there. And Boberg's lost another place as well to Hughes just behind him. It's all happening here at Snetterton in race 2. Seeker. Hughes not going to just head up the inside of Carroll. Sue locked in an almighty battle with Hughes just backing out of a little bit there. Carroll able to have a bit of respite. As oh, would you see Boberg running deep once more? Something clearly not right with that car. You see, moving up through the field now. Chambers making progress like he did in the last race. Finished 5th last time out. Got Hay just behind him. One of the big losers here tonight. We've got Cullen. Just in front of these guys. He's up 13 places. I think it's Reiser, but Chambers is up 10 places. Hay is down 10 places. Will it remain? That seems to be seen. As you see, wow, just massive defensive line there as we see Van Veen. That's lost it. That's into Murray's the last corner. And he's heading to the pits. Likewise, Boberg in as well. Surely for retirements from both those guys. You see Glamsetter, he's coming under a bit of pressure. Oh no! It's Hay! That's Rowlands in there as well. Oh, nearly. Collects Carroll there. He's out onto the grass. It's Hay's just going to hold on to it, and Carroll squeezes around the outside somewhere. Tippy toes. Just finds a bit of grip on the outside line and manages to find his way past the Shizhu driver of Hay. As we now head right back to the front end. This battle has been going on for quite a while now. Van der Koekout obviously making it past Aberdeen. He's at the rear of this little train. It's all that's Carroll. After making great progress and singing his praises so much, he's lost it. I think that's around about Arcastini. Still up at 7 places. But he'll be gutted by that one. And just while all this action has all been going on, as we come up onto last 10, 2/3 race, this is completed. That's all. Hey, that's a bit of an unconventional line. Bounces across the curb there. Nearly collects everyone in front of him. He's headed straight to the pits as we see Hermer here, who's come back out after that opening lap incident. And is now up into 19th place. And this could even be up into 18th. A great move by Hermer there as he lunges through and nearly collects Hughes there. But somehow Hermer just manages to hold on to it. Got Olason right behind him. And after the dreadful start, Hermer being right at the back of the grid has managed to claw that Delara referee all the way back up into 18th place. Great things by the PDR driver. But we were ruining after what happened early on. You know he would have been in and around that battle for the front. But all while this action's been happening, Patrick Colis set the fastest lap of the race for the extra bonus point at 1:37.82. That is the benchmark for everyone else to beat. The only driver under racing conditions so far as well to get into the 1:37s. The closest to 1:38.09 from his teammate at 3D Rap Squad Corsa 1, Roberto Fai. It's heading out onto lap 11 now. What can Aberdeen do? Seems to be content to sit behind Van der Koekout now. Maybe just waiting for the last stages. Has he overcooked those tyres? We've seen some late lunges
from Aberdeen. You have to just wonder whether he is cooked those tires and just waiting for them to come back to him before he mounts another charge. But Larson's starting to come under a bit of pressure now from Van der Koekout with PPR. And so while that's going on, I think Wilson has lost another place. He's down into 14th. He doesn't exactly enjoy this track. Trying to get past his fellow Swede. And fellow sister teammate. Biggest of PDR war on paper. But here's someone we know he loves to come for the back. At 13 places, it's Cullen of Gene's Lone Wolf. And that striking pink, blue and yellow livery. He'll be screaming in Wilson's mirrors. And Cullen will be applying the pressure to the max now onto Wilson. Trying to force a mistake. Oh, incredibly squirrely there from Wilson. Heading out onto the Bentley straight through Williams. And surely conceding the place there. Because Cullen, he's on that inside line. That is up another place for Cullen. 14 places so far. And still with another 4 laps remaining here at Snetterton. Chance to claim more places. As we see Glamsetter right now all over the back of Warren. This is the battle over 11th place. This is C. Chambers has headed to the pits, gutting for him after climbing through so many places. Luedo's back out on the track, but he is 2 laps down, apologies. Also, Bayberg a lap down as well. Of course, the driver's able to score points all the way down to 31st place. 29 drivers here tonight during the race, so everyone will be scoring points, but there's a few retirements. Some of the drivers looking to get back out on the track and trying to ensure they finish well as far up as they can, as shown by Herman, who's up into 17th. It's Glamsetter just trying to find a way past Warren. Get himself up into 11th, but Larson really starting to feel the pressure right now from Van der Koekout of PPR Esports. And Aberdeen just, again, seeming to be happy to sit behind them as they head through Brundle and down into Nelson. Van der Koekout is right behind Larson now. And this is as close as he has ever been. If he can maintain this speed through Bomhole, through Coram, and out of the exit of Murray's, you can feel a move brewing into turn 1 for Van der Koekout as Larson runs wide once more. You can see just in front of him Castellini and Vi right behind one of them. Here comes Van der Koekout showing the dummy to Larson there, and he's going to slot it up the inside into Riches, but no, he fights back. Larson trying to hold on round the outside, unable to do so as it comes down to Montreal now. Aberdeen now getting involved, sensing a time to strike. But Larson just about holding on to that 5th place for now. And you get the feeling that these 3 are not done with swapping places. Van der Koekout just running wide there. Out of Palmer. And now he's going to be a bit vulnerable into Andy Gassini, this tight left-hander. He might just hold on for it for now. But where he was hoping to get off the back of Larson. So it'd be clear come the Bentley straight. This Larson just running a little bit wide there. You get a feeling Larson's going to be right with him. But while these guys, despite them battling, you can see the gap is shrinking to Vi and Castellini ahead of them. And they've dropped nearly a second in that last lap alone of the 3D Rap Squad Corsa guys. And the Italians need to be careful and need to work together now to pull away from these. Because we know that these 3, Van der Koekout, Larson and Aberdeen, can smell blood. And they will not be wanting a full Italian 3D Rap Squad Corsa lockout here of the podium. You can see the gap, it's shrinking right now. Vi and Castellini, they are under pressure. And Van der Koekout, just looking at the times last time around, 1.1 seconds quicker than Vi's Aberdeen, heads up the inside to find his way past Larson, but Larson fights back once more. And Larson's going to have the inside line into Montreal. Aberdeen's going to try to switch back, but it's not going to work. Larson had just about got that one covered off, but Newhoff who's already up 10 places, he's now joining in the fight. So what was looking like a three-way battle for fourth is now going to become a four-way. But that is actually going to become a six-way battle for second place as Aberdeen tries to find his way around the outside of Larson. But Larson doesn't have any of it whatsoever into Angasini. I just shuts the door on the exit, covering it off. Aberdeen trying to find a way past on the grass. Just using every last off-track that is available to his name. We've got 2 laps. It's all that we've got here remaining at Snetterton. And what is becoming an absolute dogfight at this former RAF base here in the UK. As we see Larson just running it a bit deep there, but that's just to try and come over with Larson. So to try to go off Aberdeen. But here comes Newhoff. Kenzie Newhoff, the Dutchman, the Flying Dutchman, is closing right up behind them. Trying to find a way around, just backs out of it into Coram. So come onto the break into Murray's, and he's now tucked right behind them. And is that a spinner? Is that one of the 3G Raps Corsa guys? That's Patricono! That's Patricono, our leader! He spun! And from a comfortable lead, he's down into 4th place. He only had one more lap to go to bring it home, to make it 2 wins from 2 here in the Jeans Bowl F3 League. And he's lost it. Let's take a little look exactly how it happened. He's lost it out on the exit of Murray's. We mentioned about it earlier. And he spun it right around. And that is looks like it's going to prevent a lockout here for the Italians of 3D Rap Squad Corsa. But look, here's right behind Faye in 2nd place is Van der Kokel. We knew he was catching, but there's only 2 tenths behind them. And Faye is shortly going to be just fending off the Dutchman to protect Catalini, who's not only around about some 7 tenths in front of them. This is really closing up. You can see everyone starting to mount up. Patricolo, he's got a little bit of a chance, but we've not got many corners left. Than what? 5 corners, but there we go, round the outside. No, he's lost it in front of him. Foy's lost it, and he bounces it across the cover. There's going to be contact. Let's contact. Patricolo hits him as well. Aberdeen is going to be onto the podium. This is a fight now. 2nd place, there's touch of Newhoff's bumped with Patricolo. Here comes Aberdeen. He can sense a 2nd place on the podium. Van der Kokel's going to have the inside line. Into Murray's. They're all fighting through for these last places on the podium. They're all going to come across in the one line. And a dash to the line. Here comes Aberdeen. Can he nick it at the depth? But no, somehow Van der Kokel holds on to 2nd place by 7 thousandths of a second. And I'm just about losing my voice from all this action here. And then right at the desk, looks like Herman's going to set the fastest lap of the race. He looked down and out. Down in after spinning out on the 1st lap. He's brought himself back up to 17th place. But looks like he's going to hold on to the fastest lap of the race for that extra bonus point. A great recovery drive by Herman here at Snetterton. Wow, what a finish here. In the Cheese Bowl F3 League, we knew we would have great racing. We knew it would be tight. We knew it would be slim margins that would separate so many of our drivers. And that just shows what become racing. The cars aren't real, but my golly, the racing definitely is. And what an absolute grandstand finish here in round 2 of Snetterton. We've still got another 10 rounds to go. And if it's half as good as that, we are hurrying for an absolutely monumental season. So we just see the last few drivers come across the line and wow. Wow, I'm lost for words. My voice is going from the cold I've had all week. And from what an absolutely some spectacular action out on track. We've just catching up on some of the chat. Duncan Roberts, shame you weren't along out on track this week. Christ, I think that just literally sums up your message there. We had Frederick van Eckenhoven. Let's go, Kenzie. Wow, he had a great finish in the end. Finished up 13 places for Racing Forces. to come home in 4th place. Right in the line. Let's take you through your full results here in round 2 at Snetterton. So your winner was Catalina 3D Rapscotch Corsa 2. Van der Kokel nicked that 2nd place on the podium for PPR Esports, but only just 7,000th of a second is all he managed to beat Aberdeen by. And our lead privateer, Kenziku Newhoff, came home in 4th, followed by Larson of IGL Coatings. Pachicolo, after dominating for 14 of the 15 laps, lost it out of Murray's, coming on to the final lap, and had to settle for 6th place in the end. Busby, a great race from him. Haven't mentioned it too much since early on. Finished in 7th place. Rosekrantz, 5. Another of the spinners obviously got caught up in that action. Well, started off effectively on the final lap into Nelson and had to settle for 9th after what looked like a 3rd place for him. James Cockram of PDR Sif, he rounded out the top 10. Then in 11th place, up 17 places. That's correct, 1-7 was Ben Cullen. Yet again, picking up the championship, the win of most places gained. Of course, shame no place gained for that one. But definitely the honours going to Ben Cullen on that one once more. In 12th place, there was a PDR war on paper. Driver Bergerson Wilson, after looking like he was in reverse for so much of it, the Swede, he came home in 13th. James Warren, a great race from him in 14th. Glam Setter for Cripps. Could have been so much better for him, but had to settle for 15th. Rollers, after seeing that great overtake round the outside on Carroll, round Coram, he came home in 16th place. Sam Herman, a quick recovery drive, and just managed to snatch that fastest lap of the race to gain that bonus point as well. After spinning out on the first lap, he'll be happy with that recovery up into 17th. Olison of IGL Coatings, he was 18th. Hughes and Van Veen running out top 20 for the 2 privateers. Tom Carroll, at 8 places in the end. He'll be happy with that one into 21st. Boberg of Cripps in 22nd. Loedo of Racing Forces in 23rd. There was Garrett and Chambers taking up to 25th. And there's around that field is Hay, Rogenberg, Goulbourne and Kemp. Wow. What an absolute epic race here once more. Now we'll try and run back the last lap for you, because that was just something to behold. It was just action up and down the field. It all happened. And let's try and take you through it here so we can relive the magic once more, because it just absolutely all happened in one big go. So we're just having a little look at this coming through now. So as they head through turn 1, you see this is where it all started to happen. And Fi, under a lot of pressure, as we saw it all happen. He got Van der Kokel right behind him. And this is where it's all started to happen. You saw Van der Kokel just swarming all over the back of Roberto Fi, where you could sense that Van der Kokel, he knew there was a chance onto the podium. And Fi just started to melt a little bit from the pressure being applied by the Dutchman. Obviously, we'd already lost Pachicole from that spin out of Murray's. Now they're heading down the back straight right now, as you can see, down Bentley Straight to Brundle. And this is where it all unfolds and all the mayhem. Van der Kokel headed to the inside. Fi lost it through Bunchel, just spun by himself, bumped across the curves. And somehow, Van der Kokel managed to find a way through. But Pachicole got bumped by Newhoff, I think it was there. And this is where it all started happening between Van der Kokel and Aberdeen. As they came round Murray's. And this is where it became the dogfight, the sprint race to the start-finish line between these two. Aberdeen found some speed out of the corner, but just wasn't quite enough. Just had 7,000th of a second. That's all that separated Aberdeen and that second step at the podium. Van der Kook out well. He will be breathing one massive sigh of relief here at Snetterton. There's Dan Smith in the chat. What a race. Chris Rowland saying, my heart. Your heart, my voice. I think they're both completely shot by now. Obviously, it's probably a good time to sort of round out things here on the channel after what's been an absolutely epic night of racing once more. We thought Road America was great. Wow, we've been treated to an absolute another great night of racing here at Snetterton. For next week, we keep remaining in Europe. We're heading across to Monza. Of course, the cathedral of speed that is the Italian track, and we're sure we're going to see lots of slipstreaming, lots of overtaking, lots of drama. But can 3D Rap Squad Corsa have a victory on their home turf? Well, they've managed it tonight with Catalini in the second round to make that 100% for their teams. However, with different drivers in each races, we'll find out in a week's time. In the meantime, of course, on Thursday night, we will have the European Sprint Series coverage here on Total Sim Sports of Top Split once more. Of course, as we have done for the last season as well as this season on iRacing. Always some great multi-class action there in LMP1, LMP2 and GTE. So it's all left to say, we'll see you in a week's time. From myself and Sean, it's thank you very much and good night.